I've always wanted to learn French because my grandma's side of the family is French-Canadian, and it's always been kind of awkward when I go to family reunions and I can't speak to anyone in French because I'm only Anglophone. I had a friend who'd been through the Farmstay program and really enjoyed it and recommended it, so I figured that it would be a safe bet. So I started off, I sent in the application form. I received word about a week or two later that I'd been accepted. And then I basically just went about trying to improve my French as much as I could before I arrived here, so that I'd be able to at least communicate decently well with the people. Culturally, the biggest difference has been probably with the food, because here in Canada, I would usually have a big breakfast and then my lunch and then a relatively early compared to here dinner. Whereas here, the meals are prepared somewhat differently in that people take their time a lot more when they eat. I found that in general, the culture is a lot more laid back. People take more time to do things in general. The service industry is a fair bit different from in Canada in that you are expected to wait. But I found that in general, it's a lot more laid back. The easiest part is probably that I'd been worried at first that I would be homesick, but I found that in general, France was relatively easy to adjust to. And the differences, although they were there and sometimes they did throw me for quite a loop, they didn't exist to the point where I felt like I couldn't interact with people. So I found that with that respect, it was a bit easier than I'd imagined. The hardest part was probably learning French and then also learning all the rules of the house and how to help out on the farm. So it took a while to start to really understand what I was doing, but after that, it was a lot easier. I found that the program has really opened me up to realizing that just because I do things a certain way doesn't mean that everyone else does. I'd say the biggest thing is make sure you ask lots and lots of questions. Even if you think you know things that are done in a certain way in your culture, it might be different in your new home. So take nothing for granted and ask lots of questions and be really open to the experience.